It is what it is. It is a empty comparison. It's absolutely never find that the true answer to that question.
It's a circular conversation.
It's just going to keep
You're
going.
never going to get
and
it right
I understand.
but it's great to talk about.
100% to talk about.
The man who never lost in the NBA Finals, Michael Jordan, just shook the biggest debate in sports history. And he didn't do it with another championship run or a dramatic buzzer beater. Instead, he did it with just 4 simple words. Words so powerful they instantly silenced every analyst in the room and changed the entire conversation.
It just doesn't exist with me.
The entire conversation stopped instantly. That man was Michael Jordan, widely regarded as the most relentless winner the NBA has ever seen. There was no build-up, no warning, and no dramatic speech. He simply sat down and delivered a statement so sharp that it immediately brought the entire GOAT debate to a halt. The moment he spoke, the energy in the room shifted. Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter, and Carmelo Anthony, 3 legends who helped shape the modern era of basketball, fell completely silent. The joke stopped, the reactions disappeared, and all that remained was focus. They sat there, eyes locked in, listening closely to every word. Even Reggie Miller, a man who battled Jordan in some of the most intense playoff matchups, looked stunned. His expression said it all, as if he couldn't believe what he had just heard. What makes this moment even more powerful is who Jordan has always been. He never chased validation. He never campaigned to be called the greatest. While analysts debate endlessly on television, fans argue online, and players insert themselves into the conversation, Jordan has always remained different, calm, detached, and completely unbothered. That mindset wasn't accidental. It was the same mentality that made him nearly impossible to defeat on the court. Pressure never controlled him, and outside noise never distracted him. That same mental edge is exactly why this moment carried so much weight. When someone like Michael Jordan speaks, especially without emotion or effort, people listen. And when he reduces a decades-long debate to just a few words, it doesn't just sound confident.
I played against Oscar Roberts or Jerry West. Would have loved to. Absolutely love to. Just as competitive as I am. And I actually learned from them. And we, paved the road to the Kobes and the LeBrons.
This wasn't just another debate clip. This was about what Michael Jordan actually said, why everyone in that room reacted the way they did, and what it revealed about the one trait that separated him from almost every superstar in basketball history. First, look at the credibility. This isn't a hot take from a podcast or a loud headline from sports media. This is Jordan himself. 6 championships, 6 finals MVPs, 10 scoring titles, and a perfect record on the biggest stage. From 1991 to 1993, he reached 3 straight finals and won them all. Then he stepped away from the game. When he returned, he did it again. 3 more straight finals from 1996 to 1998, winning every single one. Not once did any of those series reach a Game 7. Think about that. When the pressure was at its peak, Jordan didn't let things drag out. He finished the job early. Across his career, he delivered 9 game-winning buzzer beaters. In the most intense playoff moments, the final 24 seconds with a chance to tie or take the lead, he shot 9 for 18, a staggering 50%. For comparison, the league average in those same situations is under 28%. That means Jordan performed at nearly double the efficiency when the pressure was highest. While most players tightened up in those moments, he elevated. In playoff-clinching games where everything is on the line.
Don't then, in essence, this is where I look at it, don't then now use that against the player that actually taught you the game or that you learned from.
The debate around greatness in basketball took a powerful turn when Michael Jordan spoke in a way that immediately silenced the room. Known as one of the most relentless competitors in NBA history, he didn't rely on dramatic speeches or bold declarations. Instead, he calmly made a statement that shifted the entire GOAT conversation. Sitting nearby were legends like Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter, and Carmelo Anthony, all of whom suddenly fell quiet, fully locked in on what Jordan was saying. Even Reggie Miller, who had battled Jordan in intense playoff matchups, looked visibly stunned, as if he couldn't believe what he had just heard. What makes this moment even more powerful is that Jordan never chased validation. He never campaigned to be called the greatest or tried to control the narrative around his legacy. While fans, analysts, and players constantly debate the GOAT topic, Jordan has always remained calm, detached, and unbothered. That same mindset, blocking out noise and pressure, is what made him nearly impossible to defeat during his career, and it's exactly why his words carried so much weight in that moment. This wasn't just another opinion thrown into the mix. This was Jordan himself. 6 championships, 6 finals MVPs, 10 scoring titles, and a perfect record on the biggest stage. From 1991 to 1993, he led his team to 3 straight titles, stepped away from the game, then returned to win 3 more from 1996 to 1998. Not once did he allow a final series to reach a Game 7. When the pressure was highest, he finished the job early. In clutch playoff moments, especially in the final seconds with a chance to tie or win, Jordan delivered at an elite level, far above league averages. In games that decided a series, he averaged over 34 points per game, proof of his dominance when everything was on the line. But the most important part of what he said wasn't about his own achievements. Instead of dismissing others like LeBron James or comparing eras, Jordan shifted the focus completely. He spoke about the legends who came before him, specifically acknowledging Oscar Robertson and Jerry West. He made it clear that
You're never going to win when you get into the GOAT discussion because everyone's going to have their opinion. I think where the old heads get upset is this younger generation wants to talk about, well, Mike only played against plumbers. These guys really, they need to stop that and respect the guys that came before in the 60s and 70s.
The truth is, the GOAT debate has never really been just about stats, scoring titles, or championship rings. When Michael Jordan spoke on it, he made something very clear without raising his voice or showing any ego. The real issue is the way the conversation is framed. Too often, the debate unintentionally disrespects the generations that came before. There's a growing narrative that because today's players are bigger, faster, and more skilled, it somehow diminishes the greatness of earlier legends. But that idea ignores a fundamental truth. The modern game exists because of those pioneers. Jordan didn't argue angrily. He simply pointed out that evolution in the sport doesn't erase history, it builds on it. Greatness isn't replaced, it's layered over time. That perspective hit even harder when Reggie Miller reacted in real time. As someone who competed directly against Jordan and understands the intensity of that era, Miller's response carried weight. He essentially reinforced the idea that comparing players across generations as if they played under identical conditions misses the point entirely. Different eras come with different rules, styles, physical demands, and cultural contexts. What Jordan and indirectly Miller highlighted is that the debate becomes flawed the moment it turns into this era versus that era. It creates a false choice where
Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell had 11 championships.
Yeah.
How do you just push them in the corner and say, we ain't gonna think about you. We forgot about you. That to me is where I get lost.
The way people talk about past eras today says a lot about how the GOAT debate has drifted off course. Terms like plumbers get thrown around casually, as if the legends who built the game were somehow less skilled or less important. But that mindset completely ignores what those players actually accomplished. Take Oscar Robertson, for example. Long before the modern pace and space era, he averaged a triple-double for an entire season, over 30 points, 12 rebounds, and 11 assists per game in 1961 to 62. At that time, those numbers weren't just impressive, they were almost unimaginable. He redefined what a complete basketball player could be. Then there's Jerry West, a figure so iconic that his silhouette became the NBA logo itself. His impact on the game goes far beyond stats, yet somehow his name is often left out of modern GOAT conversations, as if his era makes his greatness less relevant. And it's impossible to ignore Bill Russell. 11 championships, not 2, not 5, 11. That level of winning dominance has never been matched, and yet in today's debates, his name sometimes barely comes up. That alone shows how skewed the conversation has become. What Michael Jordan was pointing out is simple but powerful. Dismissing earlier generations doesn't make today's players look better. It just shows a lack of understanding of the game's history. Every era had its own challenges, its own style, and its own level of competition. The legends of the past didn't have the benefits of modern training, analytics, or global talent pools, yet they still dominated in ways that defined basketball for generations to come. The truth is, without players like Robertson,
But it is a empty comparison. It's a absolutely never find that the true answer to that question.
It's a circular conversation.
It's just going to keep
You're
going.
never gonna get
and
a
I
right
understand,
answer.
and
But
you
it's
know,
great to talk about.
100% to talk about and envision.
He was just as good on the defensive end. You know, if you were in a Houston Rocket locker room when we played the Chicago Bulls, we'd say, we're going to run X5. But if Jordan's on the left side, we're going to run it on the right. So kind of like what I heard that they did at times with Deion Sanders in football. Like, we're not throwing it to that side of the floor. So not many players had the complete package, both on the offensive and defensive end, where they could
Have no animosity against today's players, but you do have certain players that do have animosity because of the forgottenness of what their contribution has been to the game.
I mean, I always say, think about what MJ was doing. He was averaging 30 plus in the hand-checking era, in the physical era where there wasn't very many flagrant fouls. You know, so
I just hate the conversation. Really, I entertain it, but I hate the conversation.
yeah, it's tough.
I think he understands. MJ understands what this is all about.
Yeah.
Like one thing I appreciate about him is he's never gonna feed into that topic right there, right? That conversation. So for him to say the guys that he named and picked, and let's look at this from a generational standpoint.
We got to go from GOAT to greatest of that time.
What makes this moment even more powerful is that Michael Jordan wasn't speaking to protect his own legacy. He was speaking from a deeper understanding of the game, one that many people overlook whenever the GOAT debate begins. Basketball didn't just appear out of nowhere. It was built step by step, generation by generation, by the players who came before. And when it came to LeBron James, Jordan didn't dismiss him or downplay his greatness. Instead, he showed respect. He said he would have loved to face LeBron in his prime, both of them at their absolute best. That alone says everything. It wasn't about comparison, it was about competition. Jordan even described LeBron's career as unbelievable, making it clear that what he's accomplished deserves recognition at the highest level. But he didn't stop there. Jordan also gave credit to Kobe Bryant, Kevin Durant, and the entire modern generation of players. He openly acknowledged that today's era has pushed basketball forward in a major way. The skill level, the athleticism, the evolution of the game, he recognized